And the winner for this great Inglis.
You thought you were coming here for a free feed, didn't you?
Well, I thought I was.
Well, like we said, this is a medal that we take seriously at Indigenous Sport Queensland. I mean, what Eddie Gilbert's done in his sport is what you've done in your sport, mate. Golden boots, World Cups, kangaroo tours, everything, you know, club level as well is just so exciting as well. So, mate, this is just on top of all that.
I'm just proud to be Indigenous and just proud to be here. You know, getting this medal is just, you know, just goes to show that our people are really dedicated and hard work, and you know, we are doing what we can to bring the best out in our, you know, in our culture.
That was Greg Inglis at the 2010 Indigenous Sports Queensland Night, winning the Eddie Gilbert medal. And what an amazing man for him to accept that award and to say how proud he is to be Indigenous. I'm Donald Johannessen. Thank you for joining us on Indigistream.com.au. We're out here at Carina Leagues Club, but we're looking at some of the great action that's been happening over the Aboriginal long weekend for Indigenous sports with the All-Stars as well. And it's a pleasure for me to introduce a man who we bumped into each other a lot back in the old days, and it's great to see him again, Mark Tookey, and he's played for many clubs in South East Queensland, also over there, across the ditch as well.
Over the Warriors,
but
yeah.
Mark Tookey, great for joining us here on digistream.com.au.
Thanks a lot, it's great to be here.
What have you been up to?
Oh mate, it's been very busy. When I retired, I was working for the Canberra Raiders as a development officer down in Logan, which is where I went to school and grew up. I've been down there. I finished in rugby league with the Raiders in 2 years ago, and I started doing personal training and and starting my own business. And at the moment, I'm running for council down in the local elections that's coming in March. So it's down there in Marsden, my area, Division 5.
Why do you want to run for council?
Yeah, it's a good question. There hasn't been very good success with footballers and politics, but they explained it to me like it's a community role, local council, so I'm passionate about the community. I've been doing a lot of things in Logan for probably since I retired, so for the last 8-10 years. So this is kind of the next level. It gives me a stronger voice if I get into council. I can make some decisions on behalf of my community. So at the end of the day, I'm passionate about Logan, and this is just an opportunity for me to take that next step.
Any policies? Do you have that?
I don't really have any policies, but I really am passionate. I'm a passionate person. So I'll listen to what the people want down in Logan, and then I'll be someone that can get the job done and get it and just do it instead of talking about it or procrastinating a little bit. So I more want to listen to the people, and I'm a pretty straight up type of guy.
Well, good luck with that. So let's see how it goes. But we're here to talk about rugby league and all the events that are happening. Our first interview will be with Jamie Soward from the Penrith Panthers. Now, Jamie. He's a little guy, but he's tough, nuggety guy, isn't he? And he got a late start up in the actual All-Star side. The official side came out, and then obviously he's replaced a few people that have gone away, including Jonathan Thurston, who's going to be doing some World Club Challenge stuff as well. Your thoughts first of all on Jamie Soward? Yeah,
he's had a bit of a checkered career with lovers and haters of Jamie Soward, but to his credit, he really bounced back. I think last year he had a few injuries early in the piece, and he was under Ivan Cleary, who's a good friend of mine down there at Penrith, and he really got the best out of Jamie there, I thought. With Hook Griffin going down there this year, I think I have had a lot to do with Hook as well, and he'll get the best out of Jamie Soward. He's a quality player, and when I saw him at training the other day, I couldn't believe that someone like a Jamie Soward's on the bench, so that just goes to show the depth of Aboriginal players running around in the NRL at the moment. It's great.
Yeah, before we go to the Jamie Soward thing, you just mentioned the training. Great to see some of the guys there who said, Tukes, good to see you, hugs and kisses and all that sort of stuff.
Especially a lot of the older fellas. They're all a lot of these new young guys I haven't had much to do with, but definitely the GIs and that I played kind of against them when they were just coming into grade, and Jamie Soward, etc. So it was good to catch up with Dell and all those boys as well. So again, the rugby league community is very tight knit, and you're not forgotten. You might be lost, but you're not forgotten in the big world of rugby league.
And you can see the photo of Dell and also yourself on Indigistream's Instagram site as well.
Absolutely.
But just on that too, you were saying it's strange the setup they had for all the equipment to do the warm-up. You haven't seen that before, so it looks like it was space-age equipment.
When they come out onto the field, we used to run out on the field, throw the footy around, go for a bit of a jog, come back and lean against the fence and do some stretching. Nowadays they got the stretchy bands and they got the rolling logs and they've got the hard balls for pressure point and things like that. So yeah, the game's definitely changed. And they're more professional now, looking after their bodies as well. So science and rugby league, it's all coming together.
So let's go to Jamie Soward's interview. He was at the team photos at Suncorp Stadium.
The concept now up against the world side, how do you like that?
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, it's probably got room to grow. You might be able to play, the Indigenous versus Maori side or an Islander side, which could probably fire it. Yeah, so it's definitely, the concept's got to stay. It's definitely got room to grow, like I said. But the 40,000 that turn out on Saturday, won't be thinking about next year. They'll be thinking about tonight, and then we put on a good show, and we'll be back next year and the year after that, and it gets bigger. And I think you get a chance to see, all the guys come in and show off most of their talents in one game. And like I said, 40,000 on a Saturday night at Suncorp, it's a pretty good place to play.
What about the community visits that are coming up over the next couple of days? You looking forward to that? Yeah,
definitely. I think they're very important to what we do. It just shows that we are role models, and especially when you come into camp, you see guys like GI and Sammy Thaiday, Will Chambers, all the older guys that have been here for the last couple of years. How proud they are to be here, but also how much community work they do. I think it's a chance for the guys that are just coming in, like the Peachies, the Garveys. These guys come in and see how important it is. Then they get the chance to build their legacy, and then hopefully it just snowballs and we start getting a lot more exposure through the community for not only just rugby league but healthy living and also making the right decisions within the community.
That was Jamie Soward at the team photos, and we also caught up with Greg Inglis as well. And Greg Inglis now is the captain. Jonathan Thurston's out. Your thoughts on that?
It's a natural progression for GI. I think he's a natural-born leader. I don't think he needs the captaincy to lead the team. He's just a natural leader, and the loss of JT is a massive one, but GI will step up. I think he'll play a bit of a halves role as well as fullback. He'll chime in and whenever he wants to. The game does rest a lot on, I think, GI's shoulders, but mate, he's a natural-born leader.
Yeah, did you see much of GI at the training session that we went to together, actually showing that leadership?
Well, 100%, yeah. Even you see the young fellas looking up to him, and he's a type of leader where if he's in your team, you think you can win every time, you know what I mean? So I've played with a guy named Stacey Jones, which is very similar to that. Yeah. When he played, you felt like you're a chance of winning every time. When he was out, there was always that element of, we're playing without Stacey. So the fact, GI is a natural leader, and he's taken the leadership on down there at Souths as well. He's fine. He'll be fine.
Okay, let's listen to Greg Inglis and what he had to say about being the captain and the loss of Jonathan Thurston.
I feel very honoured to be named captain. It's unfortunate JT's not here, been playing. I know he would love to, but obviously he's thinking about what he wants to put. He wants that trophy, he wants that award, and he's, that's probably one piece that he's missing, and he really wants to, put that back in his cabinet, which is very understandable. JT is just he's a winner. He wants to win everything, and like I said, it's unfortunate. I know that he would love to be here, but like I said, he just wants that trophy.
Welcome back to Indigistream.com.au. I'm Donald Johannessen, and also still with me is Mark Tookey. But it's a pleasure to have this guy, Brad Cooke. It's a great time for Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander Rugby League, and if anyone knows about that, it's this man here, Brad Cooke. Thanks for joining us on
My pleasure, Donnie. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Well, you've seen what's going on in the background there. We've got the Cherbourg Hornets. They're out there playing. Donald Malone, I haven't seen him in a while since they're playing golf. But what do you think of these young players playing at the moment?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, young and not so young as well. The likes of big bustling Leo Dinover out there now. Used to be a little fella back in the day, and he's a little bit wide around the middle, and nothing wrong with that, but Tooks.
No, there's not.
That's great. These community days are really what makes this All-Stars weekend so very special. I love coming here, and a good story too behind the Guy Moore Shield. It's sad in its story, the three brothers who were tragically killed back in '93, and this match between the two teams who the brothers played for at the time. So it's special for the families, the Guy Moore family, to run this game. So I'm glad that they're still supporting it.
Redfern All Blacks. Tell us about them, because there's some young players in there. I don't know what they eat, but geez, they're big.
Mate, they're big too, and there's plenty of fast fellas in that side too. They won the Koori knockout, which is obviously a 45-year competition, so it's a proud thing for them to win that tournament as well. And some really good players all through the park. Some of the players aren't going to be here this weekend. Guys like young Joshua Addo-Carr, who's started in the nines for the West Tigers. He's not going to be here at the moment. No Reece Robinson, he's off playing for the New South Wales Waratahs now in rugby. So a few players that are out, and young Shane Carr, who's missing the guy who kicked that memorable full-time penalty goal to take it into extra time. But when you look at the quality of the players they have, Nathan Merritt's in the side, Travis Robinson plays, Dean Witters is there as well, Robbie John Simpson. And then the young ones coming through, they're really, really special young players, guys like Roy Smith, Kirill Phillips. Maybe youngish in age, but real mature when it comes to the way they work around the younger kids.
What do you think of the comments made by both captains, or all three captains there, about how they feel about the game and how important it is for them, for their communities?
Yeah, look, win or lose, I think this game is not about winning. I think this is about how you represent your mob, what you're doing here. You're representing a whole state. Blackfellas from both Queensland and New South Wales being proudly represented by these two communities, so there's a lot on their plate. I was really proud of young Zeke and Tommy from Redfern. I've got a lot to do with the boys back in Sydney. They work really well too. They've been training hard, they're fit, they work well with the local police command with their Clean Slate Without Prejudice program. They've got a full big flash gymnasium at the NCIE to get fit, get strong, mentally prepared, and they're going to come into these games today physically ready.
And Mark Tookey, that's that program that Brad's talking about, that could be adopted up here in Queensland. Southern Dingoes could do something like that as well.
Yeah, 100%. I've worked a little bit with Phil Dennis and at South Slogan Magpies, and I know he's pretty passionate about these type of games, and I think getting on a bit long in the tooth now, big Philly D, but he's looking after his body, and he's really worked hard in the last few off seasons actually, so he's in pretty good shape.
Now you guys have seen a lot of these players. I mean, with respect to the older players, why aren't they giving up? Why do they want to be there?
And especially for an event like this, this is proud about their background, their culture, represent the community, but there's the responsibility in those older guys to look after the young ones, to let them know what it's all about. Keep proud in your background and your culture. And Phil, I tell you, I was lucky enough to be with him on the All-Stars cultural camp up in Minjerribah, North Stradbroke Island. Mate, he was magnificent. Great, strong leader. He was good around the young ones. And a lot of the young ones wouldn't really have known who Phil was through his role playing in Q Cup. But after that weekend, those young ones coming through in the 20s who were there, they knew who Phil Dennis was. Yeah, he held himself very well.
He's definitely a natural leader. He's been a leader at South Logan for a few years now. I think he's up in 300 Q Cup games, so he's been around for a long time.
And we just heard before about the cultural camp. Something like that never happened in your day, Mark?
No, I never got any. There was nothing like that around there was no rugby league programs in schools or anything when I was coming through. So yeah, this is all a bit like in the last 5 or so years now. But it's great. I think the game needs it, and especially for these young Aboriginal fellas, they need that leadership type program and to get back in touch with their culture.
And Dean Witters, how was he as part of that?
Yeah, Dean was pretty much the driver behind the program. I can't speak highly enough of a single man of running a program like that. He stood tall. He's a leader amongst men. He speaks well. He's clear of his thoughts and in his mind and what he wants young people to hear. And he's strong. He's a proud blackfella from Unawan country up around Armidale Way. No one has represented better from playing first grade, coming back to playing around knockout footy, now teaching kids the educational welfare side. He focused this camp around life after footy. Don't just think about football. His tagline, NRL, doesn't just stand for National Rugby League. It also stands for not real long. You don't have real long in this game, you know. And when he mentioned that acronym in a different way, it knocked me off my chair. I thought, absolutely, he's right. You know, the average lifespan of a first grader is somewhere around 40 or 50 games. And so when you think about that, these young ones started thinking, you know, I do have to think about what I'm going to do after footy. I do need to make sure I've got something to fall back on, and that's why I was up there too. I was privileged to help the kids sit down and think about what career could look like for them. You know, what are their interests outside of the game? So it was a special moment for me. First time I've ever been involved in something like that, and you know, been around Indigenous Rugby League for a very long time. To be invited by Dean at the camp was something I'm very proud of, and we'll forever be grateful.
Did you go on the beach? Did you have a good time on the beach?
Mate, I got on the beach. I didn't get the water. There were some other people around. I didn't want to show them up with my body, so I let the young fit fellas get in the water. Plus, you know, if I'd come back in, I was surfing, I didn't want to get rolled back out to sea if I didn't get that right wave out.
Keep you wet, mate. Keep you wet.
I watched from the sand. It was great. They relaxed. They let me even join in learning the war dance that they put together last year. So I was by the fire with these fellas, you know, around that ceremonial pit they had there at Minjerribah, and being invited into that, working with the young ones, doing it with the established guys. Guys like Greg Inglis was magnificent in his leadership. The honesty of Joel Thompson, who talked about the struggles he's had in his life and how he's bounced back and, you know, really looked outside of his life and to be a better man. Dane Gagai is in between that young player going into more of a senior role. They were special guys, you know, to be around that and be part of it. Something I'll never forget.
And being an Aboriginal Rugby League commentator, it's a busy time for you, so I appreciate your time. But just let's touch on the All-Stars game, of course. Worlds versus the Indigenous All-Stars. How do you think it'll go? I mean, there's been a few injuries already.
Yeah, look, it's the calendar-wise, you know, there's a lot been spoken about it. It is a tough time of year to play a pre-season game. Players are worried, especially if they've had off-season niggles or even injured in the back end of last year. They don't want to come into this game nervous about it. The Nines has obviously added that extra pressure. Timing-wise, you know, whether you like it or not, it's got to be played. It's got to be played at the start of this year. I like how they've at least changed to a world concept to get more players from different backgrounds involved. Personally, I'd like to see a change from an Indigenous All-Stars versus a New Zealand Māori, the same way we did at the Dreamtime game back at the 2008 World Cup. And also, similarly, will be a Pacific team. So, you know, when I go in to look for merchandise, I went shopping today, bought my little girl, Eliza, who's mad on footy, all the All-Star, Indigenous All-Star stuff. All that was almost sold out. But that World All-Stars jerseys and T-shirts and caps and was all still there. So it's about, you need to make sure fans are passionate and proud about the concept, but also they're willing to buy that jersey. You know, not oh, am I going to buy that? Am I going to offend my Indigenous friends if I buy that World All-Stars gear?
Correct, yeah.
But if it's a Pacific team or New Zealand Māori, then it's two cultures fighting one another on that field, passionately playing. No one will give up their right to play in that game because it means more than just a hit out to support your Indigenous friends.
I'm pretty sure you'll fill a stadium if you have that kind of concept. They'll turn out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love what it is now, and it's an opportunity for our blackfellas to shine out there on the field. I just think it's missing that little bit extra, that little bit more emotion around it, and I guarantee no players on either side will be giving up an opportunity to play in such a game.
Well, the game is morphing so much all the time, even with the other concepts of the young guns playing out there and everything like that. Final scoreline, can you give us one, or is it a bit too much pressure?
Well, it's funny, I say these things, but some of the scorelines have been really tight in the past. You know, it's like, you know, they still bust each other. I want to give a bit of a shout out to my little cousin, Craig Garvey, Lapa fellow who's, you know, still trying to crack regular first grade. He's moved from the Dragons into the Bulldogs this year, and with Paul Ray Thompson breaking his ankle, Craig's going to be the lone regular hooker to be playing in this Indigenous All-Stars team. So a lot rests on my young cousin's shoulders, and I know he can handle it. Score-wise, Indigenous All-Stars will win this one, playing there at that big deadly stadium in Brisbane. And scoreline, 20-18. How about that? Pulled out of thin air.
20-18.
Just on young Garvey, the funny things happen that when opportunities arise. You know, he was called in late, and now there's an injury, so you know he's going to be the number 9 now. And funnier things have happened. All these kind of things happen for a reason, and this is his chance. So hopefully he can take that, and it should be good.
We've seen opportunity go to the same, just like a guy like Nathan Peets, shines on stage, and now he's regular first grader. You know, obviously dealing with a bit of injury himself, but proven when you get an opportunity and you take it with both hands, bigger things can come from it, hopefully better contracts in the future.
Well, 2018 is the scoreline that Brad Cooke has said, and I'm going to put that in my TAB account, have a look, see what's going on. But Brad Cooke, thanks again for your time. Like I said, it's a busy time for Aboriginal Rugby League, and you're always there. Your face is there. People come up, they want to shake your hand, get a photo. I've seen it before, so thank you very much for being on Indigistream.com.au.
Yeah, thanks Donnie, thanks Tukes. I'm fortunate again. This year I'm calling the under-16s Koori's Murri's game and the women's All-Stars game. So proud moment for me again to be involved in that, and I wish all the teams this weekend all the very best of luck.
And we're going to go to another story, and actually it's a mate of yours too, Paul Sinclair. He was part of the program manager for the Youth Summit, and he spoke to this beautiful girl from Walgett. So let's go to that story.
So do you want to have a bit of a yarn about anything like that? How you felt when you first come in and how you might feel now?
Yeah, when I first came here, I didn't really want to be, like, not knowing anyone and being so far away from home. But then I realised, yes, there's nothing involved. Like, yeah, I realise it's so funny, like being here and meeting so many people, like so many like amazing people. It's really good coming here.
So you're learning a lot about yourself.
Yeah, I've learnt a lot about myself actually. I've actually learnt that. Yes, I don't know, man. It's just so fun.
No, this is a good thing about when you feel like you stumble, you can just start again. So what you can do now is you can say, I feel like I've learned, and then you might even just say something like that, I'm becoming a lot more confident and I'm doing things that I didn't think I could do. Something
Like doing this interview, for instance, just sitting in here being interviewed by someone you don't know and going to a YouTube audience on Indigistream.
Yeah, I've actually learned how strong I am. Actually, I was always a shy girl. Like I didn't talk to really anyone. Yeah, but yeah, ever since I came here, I've got so much courage to do a lot of things. Yeah, I really like it here.
So you're taking courage back to Walgett, that's what you're doing?
Yep. Gonna take courage back.
Let's talk to Kieran Lander. Kieran, Program Manager for Deadly Choices. What do you actually do in that role?
Multiple things. At the moment, we've worked hard and tirelessly for the last 6 years to pull together a model of health education across Queensland and New South Wales and a little bit into the Northern Territory. Our aim is about empowering our communities, not just to be healthy, but to be active in their local services, going into their local Aboriginal medical service or private GPs and trying to get that primary health care that they need. And our jobs then as the back end or the front end, whichever end you need, is around prevention, education. We work a lot in schools, these events. We're very prominent and proud to present at these events as part of Deadly Choices and promote good health. As you know, this is a drug, alcohol, smoke-free event. We ran a carnival last year that was sugar-free event. First one in the country, so.
Yeah, that was at Redcliffe, was it?
Yeah, very proud of that achievement.
That is good. Deadly Choices, are the mobs going to the medical clinics? Are they going to get these checkups?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a taboo that's been there for a long time for Aboriginal people about what is a doctor for, and it's not just for acute care or someone being very sick. It's about getting on the front foot, checking your blood pressure, checking your sugar, diabetes early. If we can detect it early, we can pick it up and hopefully prevent family loss and community loss.
I see it's very prevalent in the schools as well, running some really good programs with Queensland Education, sorry.
Yeah, and any mainstream. Queensland Health is part of that association as well, and Queensland Education. I think it's very important. A lot of our kids are in at school at some point. It's a matter of our job, not only helping with their health education, but the cultural side. What is it to be a proud Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander kid and access school and get a great opportunity, whether it's in the university or the workforce? And we know that if we're healthy, we're educated, we can stay healthy. So we think they fit nicely together.
Yeah, it's great.
And I think people don't understand it's a one-stop shop. I mean, I just got my health check done, so everyone go out there and get it done at the Browns Plain Clinic, a new clinic that's just opened probably less than a year ago now, I think. But I got my eyes done, I got my blood done, I got everything done, and I made that commitment to go in there, and the staff were friendly and everything like that. And on the way out, would you like a shirt? I said, yep. You got a North Queensland one? They said no. So, but the point is, I got these things done in one location. I didn't have to go into the city. I didn't have to go and see the specialists here, there, everywhere. And I think some people get a bit confused about that. It's a one-stop shop for health, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the message as part of our roles as Deadly Choices, what we call Deadly Choices tobacco officers, is also to inform the community that the health centres, your GPs have an obligation to look after you, but also not to run you around from service to service. And through our clinics, we've been able to increase dental, we've increased allied health services such as paediatricians, dietitians, audiology, and that there in itself is good for our people. They feel comfortable going to one place where they know everyone there, they know what's there for them. I think that's very important. As I said, it's our role to inform them that they have I suppose, a lot of lost knowledge around what should they and what do they have when they go to these services.
And finally, campaigns. What campaigns running at the moment for Deadly Choices?
Mate, they'll run all year round. We've just about to launch our Deadly Choices partnership with the Brisbane Broncos again, and Sam Thaiday, a huge ambassador and proud Torres Strait Islander man, and we have others as well, some young women, but it's all around tobacco cessation and promoting the positive stories. So the launch to the NRL, we'll have some new TVCs come out, television commercial ads that promote the positives behind not smoking, not the negatives of smoking.
Okay. Well, Kieran Lander, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man. You've got to get those Deadly Choice shirts out there. There's lots of people wearing them. So thank you for your time. And everybody, go to your medical clinic. And like Kieran was saying, it's a great thing to do. And check out the TVCs as well. We're going to go now to Talisha Harden. We spoke to her at one of the community visits that she did at the schools that they go to. All the players, men and women, going to visit young children, give them positive messages. Here's Talisha Harden.
Yeah, we talk about the game and everything like that, and these school visits, how important they are. What about yourself? How good were you at school academically?
I was one of those kids where my parents always kind of hammered into me at an early age that I had to focus on my academics as well as my sport. So if my homework wasn't done, I wasn't allowed to play sport, and it was really strict with me. So I did quite well. I was school captain at school, Woodridge North State School, just down in Logan, and I graduated high school, and I'm now studying speech pathology at the University of Queensland.
Well, we've had a great time. We've had some great guests, great stories as well, and good to see the inside of what is going on with Indigenous All Stars Week and everything like that. I want to thank you, Mark Tookey, for your time as well, because you're going to be a busy man in the next couple of weeks leading up to that election. And just on that too, how important is it for the mobs to actually sign up to enrol to do that important vote?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a necessity in Australia. You must vote, and you need to register and be enrolled and things like that. So yeah, it's very important, and it's your chance to have your say, and you have a say on who you think should lead your community, and so it's very important. I know it's sometimes a pain in the bum having to go out there and vote, but it is your chance to make a difference.
Okay, and you try to make a difference. We'll keep an eye on you. We'll come back with indigistream.com.au and keep an eye on you as well. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Indigistream.com.au is also on Facebook, Twitter, and you can also find us doing things on Instagram with the photo with yourself. SoundCloud, listen to some of the interviews that we've done, especially the one where we were up in the Torres Strait Islands, where there was a search rescue that was going on. Yeah, wow. So listen to that. You'll hear the amazing things that the police do, and the police chopper as well. So that's on the SoundCloud page for Indigistream. I'm Donald Johannessen. Thanks again to Mark Tookey, and thanks for joining us on Indigistream.com.au.